What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is PROA TV. I'm just gonna make a quick video today, a quick vlog. I got some more videos on the works. Just haven't had time, but with the year closing, I'm gonna do my favorite phones of the year, and then I'm gonna do a little. Like I said, I was gonna do some tutorials and stuff like that. I still want to plan those out and do them right because, well, I just keep seeing people with Android phones like not necessarily knowing how to use it, just not knowing what to do, what you can do with it, basically, you know? Like when I tell my iPhone friends, look, I can set up this page however I want it, I can set up my desktop, you know, however I want it, and they're like, oh, we can do that too. So you really can't, but you know, I'll show you guys a tutorial on what I mean just to explain it better. But today we're gonna talk about 2017 being the year of the $1,000 phones and how I feel about that. And like I've talked about it before, you know, what justifies a phone being that expensive. You know, I remember back in the day when flagship phones didn't go past $650, $700, you know. And now all of a sudden everybody that brings out a phone wants to fucking just put $1,000 price point on it. You know, I still think $850 is ridiculous for, you know, some people out there that have you know, the iPhone 8 Plus or the Pixel 2 XL or the Mate 10 Pro or the Mate 10, or, you know, some of these prices this year just skyrocketed. And I want to know, I mean, obviously things are going to get more expensive. Everything does. This phone has a 4K display on it. We're going to put this price tag on it. just like a TV, you know, fucking people have a 4K TV. We're gonna put $2,000 price tag on it, or you know, it's just, I feel like a lot of good phones have gotten really cheap over the past few years, and obviously you're gonna buy whatever suits you best. So I'm just getting out there and, you know, talking to like the average consumer that's possibly gonna carry around the iPhone 10 for the next 2 years, or a Note 8 for the next 2 years, or, you know, if you know, how are they gonna age? You know, everybody knows that when you get the new iOS update, when you're on a data device, your phone's gonna lag. Everybody knows that. It's gonna glitch, you know, just like, you know, with Android phones, how are they gonna hold up within a year? Because like I've said it before, I don't think having the current software on Android is that relevant unless you have a Pixel phone. So, because, you know, technology just changes too much. People out here, you see a Samsung device getting released every 2 months. You see an LG device getting released every 2 months, and it confuses consumers. If you don't stick to the big guys, the G series, the V series, the S series, the Note series, you're not gonna know what you really have, you know. And that's what, you know, just what a regular consumer might not even know, you know. So people walk around with, you know, and I hate when Samsung does this. If you're gonna make a budget device just because it has the Samsung name, doesn't mean it's a great phone, you know what I mean? There's so many budget phones out there that are fluid, fast, great cameras, you know. Obviously you're gonna pay for what you have, but, you know, another big hitter that's coming out, and, you know, one of my favorite OEMs is Huawei, you know. But all of a sudden, you know, Huawei has the Honor line, and then Huawei releases the Nova 2, and then it released the Mate 10, and then it's gonna release the P10 next. You know, it's just like, I personally, like, the one thing that I respect Apple for is to sticking to one product, because everybody knows that one product, you know what I mean? nowadays they're releasing 3, or 2 or 3, but that's it. You know, it's just like HTC is kind of doing away with their Desire line unless you go into like a budget friendly like phone plan nowadays. You know, this is, you're gonna pay for what you need and for what you can afford and for what you got. So like a lot of people can't afford Verizon and to be on their top notch, you know, expensive plans, which everybody knows like Verizon's ridiculous. They have good service, yeah, but you know, if you're, for example, me, I go to Mexico all the time, so my T-Mobile, I always carry my T-Mobile. I'm happy I have T-Mobile because I think it's a great provider, especially when you go into Mexico, Canada, that kind of stuff, you know, because you don't pay for roaming. So you're gonna pay for what you have, for what you need, or for what you can afford, you know. And everybody out there gets stuck on the bandwagon that because the iPhone 10 is $1,000, it must be worth it. Because the Note 8 is $10,000 or is $1,000, it must be worth it, you know. And I'm here to tell you guys that, in my opinion, and when I release my top 10 phones, I'll tell you why I chose those phones. But the best well-rounded phone for the price that you get, in my opinion, and obviously it's my opinion, is the Note 8. And I've said that in other videos too before, because it's expensive, and are you willing to cough up $30 a month to lease it? Or are you those kind of, you know, are you that kind of consumer that you see new tech and you can afford to buy new tech, so just buy it, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody's the same. Not everybody's a techie like me. I'm reaching out to the average consumer, you know, and just kind of like trying to justify why you would pay $30 a month for 2 years to lease a device that in 6 months, 7 months, a year, it's irrelevant. So, just like with the iPhone 10, like, it's a good device, you know. I don't think it's worth $1,000, like I've said before, especially because no expandable storage, no fucking fingerprint reader. Yeah, we have the Face ID, got you, whatever. There's just no other convenient way of unlocking your phone or using it to make payments or bank accounts or whatever it is than your fingerprint, you know what I mean? It's just but it's a first gen phone, you know. A lot of people forget that, you know. The 8 and 8 Plus are a dated design with a heavy price tag, you know what I mean? So the iPhone 10 is a first gen device that I've heard a lot of people is still kind of buggy. So I would have waited for the next iteration of that phone if they do come out with one next year, you know. Just like people like the Galaxy line, right? You have the S8, the S8 Plus, and the Note 8, right? The Note 8, and I've said it before many times, that the Note devices are in a field of their own. That S Pen just separates them, because a lot of people sit there and are like, well, if you don't use the S Pen, why would you spend $1,000 on the phone? You know, that's true. It's very true. But if you compare, and everybody's like, well, get the S8 Plus if you don't need it. You know, I mean, you're getting 2 extra gigs of RAM. You're getting a better camera because you get a second camera. You get the S Pen. You get added features on it. Do you get a lot of added features on it? No, obviously not. You know what I mean? I think the S line should come down to one phone. Instead of having an S and an S Plus, I think it should come down to one phone, one size, because the way we're headed to with these price tags and stuff like that, I think Samsung could definitely pull that off, and its consumers would probably appreciate that more. Because I hear a lot of reviewers out there, you know, if you don't need the Note 8, get the S8 Plus, save $200, yada yada yada. Me personally, I'm the kind of person that actually uses the S Pen. I use it every day, just about. And yeah, it could be to cut out words, cut out pictures, cut out whatever, but I actually use it. I find good use in having an S Pen. I write down notes every day, just about. Oh shoot, I gotta remember this. Let me write it down. Yeah, can you do it on any other app? Cool, yeah, but this is so convenient. Your phone's off. You just pull the pen out, turn the screen on, so you can write a message and go. You know, remember this. So, like I said, 2017 has been the year of the $1,000 phones. In 2018, obviously, for those out there that don't know, the average consumer that doesn't know, there are phones that are more expensive than $1,000. If you were to get the 256 gig iPhone 10, it's gonna run you more than $1,000, right? That's like the only exception that I think average consumers know. A Mate 10 Porsche design is around $2,000 for what? Just because Porsche designed it, it's got a Porsche design. See what I mean? It's like, if you have the money for it and you can afford it, hey, more power to you. I like buying phones every 2-3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Every time something new and shiny comes out that I personally follow, like the OnePlus. I really want the OnePlus 5T. I think they did a great job with that. I ended up getting rid of my OnePlus 5. As much as I loved it, I ended up having to get rid of it. But there's phones out there that are 5, 6, 7, 8 grand. You know, a lot of people don't know that. You know, a lot of people just, you know, that's a different price bracket. But then if you look at the specs, a lot of the specs aren't, you know, they don't justify the price. So that's what I'm trying to get at, because companies like Huawei that have the Honor line, the Honor 7X is a great device, and it's $200. So if you're in an unlocked plan where you can buy unlocked devices, I would look at something like that. I would do a little bit of homework and not just jump into the first phone that you think you might need. Or if you love taking pictures, by all means get a photography phone. You know, if there's a lot, I love taking pictures all the time, so I have to have a phone that takes amazing pictures. You know, is that something that's worth $1,000 for you to pay? No, hell no. There's a ton of phones out there for $600, $500. They have amazing cameras if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? The whole speaker in the front, I don't think that justifies a price for anything. The whole stereo speakers, I think I think what HTC did once, they should have stuck their guns to it and just kept going with it. But I think we're in an era where everybody has Bluetooth headphones, and me personally, I like the headphone jack still being there, because if I have to take a class, or if I'm somewhere and I don't want to waste my battery on connecting it to Bluetooth or my Bluetooth headphones, using them, I'd rather just stick a cable and on top of it get better audio, you know, better audio out of it. So if you take a headphone jack out of the phones now, it's just too many people still use them. I still use it. It's another reason why I didn't get the Pixel. I don't want to jump on a phone. I had the HTC 11, I still have it, but without a headphone jack, it just feels empty. So it's I don't know. It's just a feature that shouldn't have gotten removed anytime soon. Maybe in 5 years, maybe there's a new way of doing it, or 3 years or something. But now, I don't know. But if companies out there are going to start just releasing anything and just putting $1,000 price tag on it, that's just kind of messing around with the consumer, I believe. So just do your homework. If you really need something that expensive and you can afford it, and you want to, you know, if you want to carry around for 2 years, and I know people that carry phones for 3-4 years, you know, and just make sure that eventually the software is not going to keep updating. It's going to start lagging regardless of what you have. People say iPhones don't lag and stutter and this and that. They do. You know, they're not the perfect thing in the world. And like I've always said, their software is so light that they don't need 5 gigs of RAM. They can manage it with 3 gigs of RAM, and they don't really even need that. They can manage it with 2 probably. But a lot of good phones are getting really cheap, and a lot of people don't need to go out and spend more than $600-700. If you are that kind of person that you need the latest and greatest and you can afford it, I mean, by all means. That's the biggest reason why I didn't jump on the Pixel. As much as I wanted it, I prefer stock Android. I've said it plenty of times. And on the Pixel, it's just a different experience. And with that new camera, I mean, why wouldn't you get it? You know, and everybody's like, well, you know, you get a portrait selfie mode and this and that. The Note 8 can do that. The S8 can do that. The S8 Plus can do that. The Honor 7X can do that. There's so many phones out there that it can take. Is it going to be a good selfie Jeez, I can't think right now. It's going to be a good selfie picture? Probably not. You know, not like the Pixel 2. You know, but it still can do it. You know, my Note 8 can take really good selfie pictures with. I can't think of the word right now. Just mine went blank. I'm rambling too much. But portrait mode. There you go. Portrait mode. But like I said, you know, I think that for what you get, and you're looking for a budget phone and you can't afford, there's plenty of options out there. Motorola does a great job. The Honor line is great. Like I said, there's plenty of options. OnePlus is still my favorite price point. No matter, obviously, yeah, it's climbing up itself, you know, but it's not climbing past 600. Do I see the next one passing 600? Yeah, because I think they're going to try to do something a little bit better as they've been doing. Obviously, every phone does something a little bit better, but I mean, 8 gigs of RAM, you can't beat that. I mean, if they try to put 10 gigs of RAM, I really don't think it's that necessary with their skin, because their skin is so fluid. So just keep in mind, you know, if you're an average consumer and you think that the $1,000 price point just justifies it as being a great device, you know, there's a lot of great devices out there for cheaper. I love my Note 8. I still think it's the best Android phone because it's in its own tier. I got expandable storage, waterproof. I mean, it's, you know, it's got so many features. Look at the features that you're getting with the phone, how it's going to date, how it's going to be in 6 months to a year and a half. You know, just do a little homework. 2017 has been the year of the $1,000 phones, and I think they're just going to keep getting more expensive. So we'll see how it is next year, and stay tuned for my top phones of 2017. I'm gonna do a little something different, and I'm gonna try to explain why I chose the phones I chose, and then I'm gonna put a couple different categories out there, like the ones that should have been the flagships of 2017 for certain companies, obviously. The ones that fell short, the ones that, you know, came in too late, so on and so forth. So many great phones released this year. So many. I wish I could have had all of the ones that I want to review and stuff like that, but like I said, I buy everything out of pocket, so just gonna stay tuned and I'll talk about most of them and why I chose them, and then stay tuned for some tutorials, and I'm gonna try and do a comparison of, I'm gonna try and sit down and have an iPhone 10, show people what it can do and what I mean by the difference between the two of them and how you can personalize both, because a lot of people just don't know. A lot of people just walk around with what they walk around, and, you know, just if you go to the Play Store, you can click on don't add an icon to when I download a new app. I see a lot of people just, their apps just automatically add on to a next page and to a next page. It's like, you don't have to do that, you know, but I am kind of OCD, so anyways, 2017 is the year of $1,000 phone. Are they really worth the $1,000 of your hard-earned money? And are you going to keep it for 2 years if that's what you're doing? If you're going to lease them, why? You know, how are they going to hold up in 2 years or a year? You know, you never know. There's so many leasing programs out there, so just be smart. If you're in an unlocked world where you can buy any unlocked phone and use it, there's plenty of good cheap phones out there, budget phones, good cameras, everything you need, a lot of storage if that's what you want, you know. Just do do a little homework before you buy stuff and just try to justify the price. And obviously you're gonna get what you paid for, you know. But sometimes because a Mercedes costs $100 or $80,000 or whatever, is it really worth $80,000, or can you buy a cheaper car that, you know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Prices are gonna keep climbing. If the iPhone came to $1,000, the base model of the iPhone 10, I'm pretty sure the base model of the next gen iPhone 10 is going to be a little bit more expensive. Just like possibly the next gen Note is probably going to be a little bit more expensive. So just keep that in mind. Be careful what you purchase, and I'm just trying to reach out to average consumers and see what they think about the year of the $1,000 phones. Stay tuned. A couple days I'll do my top 10, or no, not my top 10. I'll do my top phones of 2017 and some tutorials. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe.